Paul, big fight this week on the 23rd of February between two British rivals, James Degale and Chris Eubank Jr. How do you think the fight's going to go?
There's a lot on the line for both of these guys. I think they're going to fight with a lot of passion. Everybody's going to bring it. They're both going to have their game plan going into the fight. But I think that it's going to come down to adjustments in the fight as well. I think both these guys. When it comes down to a 12-round fight, you come in with a certain game plan, but then you have to also be ready and willing to adjust. And I think it comes down to that as well.
Who do you rate as the favorite?
I think the experience of Degale gives him a superior advantage. Not that you sleep on Eubank. He's a guy who is obviously coming with a lot of motivation. He always comes with a lot of motivation and a lot of grit, and tries to mentally break you by bringing the fight to you. But I think Degale has a bit more has a bit more wrinkles to his style, and I think ultimately that carries the day.
Do you think James Degale really needs to take this fight because he's literally beaten everybody?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you're not ready to retire, and if you're not ready to retire, then you have to take on these kind of fights, Obviously, it's a situation where it's a big fight, a big promotion in the UK, so it gets your competitive juices flowing, and I think Degale has that. And I think both guys have that, and I think on fight night, both guys will be in the moment and very much enjoy it.
One thing, though, which I've noticed is that most of the big fights that he's had in the UK, he's not managed to win. He didn't beat George Groves there. He lost to Caleb Truax as well. Do you think that could, be a factor?
I don't think it comes into a factor. I just think those are, nights where it didn't go his way, and then sometimes that happens in boxing. He's also had very good performances in the UK. I was here when he beat Brandon Gonzalez, and he looked very destructive in beating Brandon Gonzalez, who was a pretty good American fighter at the time. So, I wouldn't say it has anything to do with the UK. I'd say, sometimes you have a bad night and sometimes you have a good night, and he just had a couple of times it just didn't go his way.
Another big fight coming up soon on April the 20th is Amir against Terrence Crawford. How do you think that fight is going to go?
Amir has always been a guy who's given nightmares and fits to timing kind of boxers, guys who fight you with timing. And Terrence Crawford is one of those guys. It's just of late, Amir also has looked like he's been slipping a little bit. I think a prime Amir Khan versus a prime Terrence Crawford would be a tremendous fight. I just don't know how much Amir has left, and for that reason, you probably are going to favor Terrence Crawford. Khan struggled with Samuel Vargas, and Samuel Vargas is a tough guy, a guy who brings his all, but certainly not of the level of a Crawford.
And now that you've retired and you become a pundit from ringside, do you sometimes get the itch or miss it all?
Sometimes you get the itch, you miss it all, but you don't miss the training camps. You miss the competition, but you don't miss all the hard work and making weight and dieting. Sometimes you think about that and you're kind of glad that you don't do that anymore. But yeah, sure. You do miss competing on fight night sometimes. The accolades, the ovation the fans give you, the atmosphere in the arena. It's something that will always stay with you.
At one time, it was rumored that maybe you might get in the ring with one of these MMA guys, or is it UFC? Would you ever do that, or that was just a thought?
It depends on money. Obviously, everything has a price. I don't think MMA guys really want to get in the ring with me. As is boxers, shouldn't probably get in the ring with MMA guys because in the cage with MMA guys because the MMA guys would have the advantage. I don't think there's an MMA guy in the world that can go the distance with me. You know what I'm saying? If we were to box, and vice versa. So I don't really. Those are kind of hearsay fights. They're fights that really nobody would. Really take too seriously. We saw it happen once with Mayweather and McGregor. We've seen it happen a handful of times, but for the most part, they're just hearsay, and usually guys won't step up to the plate. I noticed that some MMA fighters are big talkers, but stepping to the plate is a different thing than talking. Like I said, I don't think there's an MMA guy in this world that can get in the boxing ring with me and even go the distance with me, let alone beat me. So I'm not really too worried about that.
Let's talk about the heavyweight scene, which seems to be exciting at the moment. You got Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder. Do you think Anthony Joshua would need to go to America to fight, considering we're here at Wembley and he's capable of filling up this stadium? Does he need to go to America to fight, or
No, I don't think he has to do anything. You don't think he needs to do anything. But of course, it always helps to get that worldwide recognition. I'm hearing that he's signing a fight with Jarrell Miller in the U.S. And I look forward to seeing if that happens. But I think Joshua is a bona fide star in the UK. It's just a matter of how much do you want to make your star grow.
Thank you very much for your time.